Hello everyone and welcome to a new buff breakdown. So Chaldea Boyzone JP continues, and unlike Valentine's, we actually got more than a day 1 buff. And it's also another 3-star buff, and this time it landed on Houzouin in Shun. Good old 3-star crit monk. And it is a buff to one of his skills. So let's see what we have here today. It's a buff to his second skill. So previously on a 5-turn cooldown, he got 50% quick up for himself for 1 turn and a 100% mental debuff resistance for 3 turns. So it was basically a mana burst that came with the added utility of the mental resistance, which obviously still is not the greatest skill ever. I would still consider it a weak skill overall, especially with the downtime on the offensive side. So let's see what they did. So now on the same 5-turn cooldown, he still gets the same 100% mental debuff rest for 3 turns, but now the quick has been upgraded to 3 turns, and it's still 50%. And they also added 2 new lines with a 50% arts up for 3 turns as well, and a 30% battery on use. Wow, that is pretty insane when you think about it. Like, this skill on any other servant would be absolutely broken. And honestly, even on him, it's gonna be really good. Like, that's a lot of card types up for 3 turns. Again, on a 5-turn cooldown, 50%. Those are full mana bursts. Wow, that I was not expecting this, I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, he still rocks a triple quick deck on base, and his MP, while it is arts, it doesn't do any damage, so the card tap up doesn't really do anything for it. But I still like it because if you manage to crit with that 1 arts card now, it's gonna actually have fairly solid gains. So now looping his MP should be a lot easier, and that's literally what you want to do with him, because again, for those that don't remember or don't know, his MP doesn't do any damage. It is a buff MP, okay? And honestly, it's a fairly good one too. The only reason why he's not amazing are, well, there's 2 reasons. 1, he's a low star, so his stats are not amazing for DPSing, and 2, he's kind of lacking that defensive side, because, you know, buff servants also are decent soloers, but him, the only defense he has is this one-time evasion on his MP. But otherwise, you do get a lot of attack, a lot of star generation, a lot of crit damage, and then a bonus immune to death, I guess. So offensive-wise, it is still a lot of great buffs for damaging. So not only will this skill now help him loop his MP better, especially in solos, it's going to be super easy now, but this quick up in particular as well is really nice because he's just going to keep generating stars more because, again, his MP gives him a lot of crit damage, so that's great. Because crits will be his only way of doing damage, really. And honestly, I want to say with this, he actually might have some team presence now too. Because he actually didn't really perform that well with teams, being so face card reliant, but now his cards for the most part will actually be very solid, and it's also easier to get his MP because of the battery, so you don't necessarily need insane batteries on him to start, because now if you use this skill, you have the second append, that's already 50%, maybe a CE as well. You could actually just 100% by himself by default, but then getting 50 from a support is also not super unreasonable, especially with quick, you know, Scotty comes to mind, of course. This skill in and of itself is actually really insane now. The skill is like just broken, but remains to be seen how this will impact him. Not sure if it's going to be enough to make him meta, but it's certainly a big boost to his performance. So again, normally I would show the tier list here from the previous year and maybe adjust his rank based on how I feel about the buff, but funnily enough, we just covered the Lancer tier list last week, but as you guys might know, we are not covering low stars on the main list this time around, so he wasn't in it, but we are still going to cover low stars most likely on their own lists after all the gold servants have been placed. So much like the Okada buff from earlier this week, you can hopefully see both of them covered in one of the low star lists later, probably in a month or 2. So look forward to us talking about this buff in depth over there. But I do like it. It's a huge buff though. It really is. Very good. So if you enjoyed this buff breakdown, do me a solid and press the thumbs up button on this video. Really helps out. And do subscribe not to miss out on future videos, because maybe they're gonna actually cook more with Chaldea Boys this time around, because Valentine's actually did not end up bringing that many buffs, so this is a good sign, especially low stars, always fun to see buffs on. Also, Rider tier list is happening tomorrow, so if you can catch it live, come say hi, and otherwise look forward to that video on YouTube. Shout out to my patrons on the screen right now, and Suit for being a big YouTube tier member supporter, and otherwise have a great weekend ahead, and I catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.